Hi guys, in my last video I told you about all of the blood tests I got done in the last month, and in this video I'm going to share with you my kind of like current strategy for my healing, and that includes my supplement regime and any kind of changes I implemented in my lifestyle and food, diet changes and anything like that. So let's get started. So in my last video I briefly mentioned that I really wanted to try borax, which is a great source of boron, and boron is a mineral that's really difficult to find nowadays in food, and so I have actually got my hand on some borax. It wasn't easy because it's illegal in Europe, but I got it sent from Turkey, and apparently Turkey and the US are two main producers of boron in the world. So I got some from Turkey. I got a bag like this, but it's going to last me a lifetime because I need just a tiny amount each day. And I've been taking this for around 2 weeks now. I've been taking this together with iodine in kelp. In my opinion, is the best and most natural form of iodine. And iodine together with boron in this borax is just like a match made in heaven. Both of them do something amazing in your body, and that's they detoxify bromides, chlorides and fluorides, and all those things are really bad for your thyroid, for all your tissues, and also for your third eye or the pineal gland over there, which guides the rest of your glands in the body. So these two things, iodine and boron, both do the same thing. So if you consume them both at the same time, the detox is going to pass quicker and it's going to be much more effective, and it's definitely been the case in my case. Can I say that? Not really. It's definitely been like that in my case. So in addition to detoxing chlorides, bromides and fluorides, these two things also have their own specific roles in the body. So boron, or borax in this case, is so amazing because first of all it kills candida, and so many of us have a problem with candida overgrowth because of all the antibiotics we got throughout our lives. And I got loads of antibiotics when I was a child, probably maybe 4 doses every single year. It also kills mycoplasma, and I told you that I had a chronic mycoplasma infection in my previous video. So this one is like the strongest mycoplasma killer in the world. That's why I love it so much. And finally, it also kills Demodex mites, and Demodex mites are like the real reason behind acne. Everybody has Demodex mites, but in people with acne or acne rosacea, the Demodex mite population gets out of control, and this humble borax is amazing for that because it normalizes the population and gets rid of acne faster and better than anything in the world, especially with iodine. So in addition to all of these killing functions, borax is also great because it regulates the metabolism of calcium, magnesium and vitamin D. So if you're like me and you can't hold on to magnesium, you have to keep taking it, or if your vitamin D is persistently low, then borax might be your answer, and it's definitely helping me so far. So I've been taking 1/8 of a teaspoon dissolved in 1 liter of water for 5 days, and then rest for 2 days, and then repeat again. And I got this remedy from an article called The Borax Conspiracy. I would definitely suggest googling it, reading it for yourself, because it's really life-changing and eye-opening. So just Google borax, the Borax Conspiracy, and your mind will be blown. It's really interesting. So I've been doing their protocol for candida and Demodex killing, and it's been working beautifully so far. So together with borax, I've also been taking kelp. I tried to take kelp almost a year ago, but it was a nightmare because I actually started from Lugol's iodine in quite a high dose of 6 milligrams per day at the beginning, and it was way too much for my thyroid. I felt horrible, and I also got quite terrible acne at that time. And even though I went down to a much lower dose and I started taking kelp later on, my system was still so sensitized to iodine that I still got lots of acne, and my thyroid was still feeling really weird. So I just stopped taking anything with iodine, and I got scared away from it for the whole year. But I kept thinking about iodine, and I knew that I was low in it because I get almost none of it in my diet. So I decided to give it another try. It's kind of like the oil cleansing method. It took me three tries to get it right. The first one is a disaster, the second one was a disaster, but the third one was right. So it's kind of like this with iodine. But this time I'm taking just 1 capsule a day. In the Perfect Health Diet, the Jaminas said that you should increase or double the amount of iodine after a month. So let's say I will take 1 capsule of this for a month, and then in a month's time I'll take 2 for another month, and then I'll increase to 4 for another month. And in this way the thyroid should gradually get used to high amounts of iodine. So that's what I'm trying out for so far. So it's more or less double the recommended dose, which is far from correct. As always, the government doesn't really tell you the truth about many things. But I've been taking it now for just over a week, and the results have been great. I've been so much more active, my depression has been almost non-existent, and I've had much more energy. I've been sleeping better, it's been easier to wake up in the morning. I've had almost no joint or muscle pain. I haven't been waking up swollen, and my skin has been doing really great. So I think that the combination of kelp together with borax is what prevented me from the acne detox that I got last time when I tried to take just iodine alone. So talking about kelp and iodine that it contains, a lot of people are actually deficient in iodine because so many of us have gone for the fancy designer salts like sea salt or even Himalaya salt, and they have no iodine whatsoever. And also we don't really eat so much seafood or any other iodine containing foods, and our salt doesn't contain as much iodine as in the past, so it's quite difficult to get enough of it. And in the past people used to paint their bellies with iodine, and they used to supplement with iodine from time to time when they needed it. So people were definitely much more clued up about iodine than we are now. But iodine is really important for the thyroid because the thyroid hormones, the FT3 and FT4, are actually made of iodine. So if you don't have enough iodine in your body, then you are very likely to be hypothyroid, and also you're very likely to have enlarged thyroid and goiter. Now, as I grew up not so far from Chernobyl, and I think I was 3 years old when Chernobyl happened, and because in my country we're not giving potassium iodide to prevent the thyroid from absorbing the radioactive iodine from the food and the environment. In the areas around my country, a lot of people have had problems with radioactive iodine being collected in the thyroid, and that causing antibodies to the thyroid, which in other words are the antibodies that indicate that someone has Hashimoto. So lots of people around those countries might have not real Hashimoto's, but just antibodies to the thyroid because of the radiation from Chernobyl. So that's quite an interesting theory. And taking iodine now would help to replace that radioactive iodine with a good iodine. Iodine is also very important because it regulates the amounts of estrogen in the body. It kind of down-regulates the receptors of estrogen. So in that way, periods get lighter, and breast cysts disappear, and breasts stop being painful before periods and things like that. But also excess estrogen prevents the body from converting FT4 to FT3, the thyroid hormones. So the thyroid hormone production absorption becomes so much better with correct levels of estrogen in the body. And also iodine gives you so much more energy in general because it's antibacterial, antifungal. So iodine is really like a miracle mineral that we all need more of in our lives. In addition to improved moods and increased energy after I started taking kelp, I've also noticed that my thyroid got kind of swollen and uncomfortable for the first maybe 3 days, and now every day is feeling better and better. And for example, today I pretty much don't feel it at all. I would say there's like a 90% improvement, so I'm really pleased with that. And I'll definitely be taking kelp, and just the improvements in my skin have been so amazing that I'll definitely keep taking it. My skin was probably 90 to 95% clear, but I always try to find a way to make it 100% clear, and borax together with kelp have given me 100% clear skin in the last couple of weeks, and I'm forever grateful to them for that. So as I told you in my last video that my ferritin was low, I've been taking iron supplements for a while now. So I was taking liquid Floradix, which is one of the best iron supplements that you can have. But the problem with it is that it runs out, the expiration runs out in 4 weeks, so it's quite difficult to finish the whole bottle in 4 weeks. So I decided to get Floradix tablets this time just because it's easier. You just have to take 3 a day. So I take 2 in the morning before breakfast and then 1 before bed. It's just easier for me like that. So it's definitely been helping me a lot with hair loss and energy, and especially strength in exercising. And I actually did an interesting experiment without really planning to do it, but it just came out like this, and it was quite an interesting thing. So when I went to Lithuania, I actually didn't bring any iron with me because I only had the Floradix liquid and it needs to be in the fridge, and I didn't have a luggage with me, just hand baggage, so I couldn't bring it with me. So I ended up not taking any iron supplements for almost a month. And with each passing day during my holiday, I kept weaker and weaker, and it was more and more difficult to exercise, and I couldn't understand why. And then I came back and I felt even worse. And then a week later, I just had this like a light bulb moment, and I realized that I hadn't been taking iron supplements. That's why I was feeling so weak again. So I got a box of Floradix, and in around a week I felt like a different person again. So iron definitely makes such a big difference, and as I explained in my previous video, so many of us women have normal hemoglobin and normal iron but really low ferritin, so definitely get it checked out, because that's the reason why you're feeling weak and why your hair is falling out. Ferritin is extremely important, and if you yourself have low iron or ferritin, then I can definitely recommend Floradix liquid or Floradix tablets. And also I now ordered something called Blood Builder, which seems to be better looking at the reviews, and it's very convenient because it's in a tablet form, but I haven't tried it out yet. I'm super excited to try it, but I can definitely recommend it already just based on the reviews because they are amazing. My last update, I also told you I was taking zinc and also evening primrose oil. I'm still taking those two because I think they're helping me, and it's difficult to get enough zinc from the diet, so unless you eat a lot of red meat and lots of seafood, I definitely don't. So zinc is really a great supplement to take, and it's really good for the skin and also for the thyroid because it also helps with the thyroid hormone conversion. So I'm still taking 50 milligrams of zinc, and it's in the OptiZinc and zinc citrate mixture. And then I'm also taking 1000 milligrams of evening primrose oil, and evening primrose oil definitely makes my skin much softer and much more nourished. So that's why I like it so much. One interesting change is that I haven't been needing so much magnesium lately, and that's probably because of the borax that I've been taking, because boron helps the body to retain magnesium, and so I think I'm not losing so much of it anymore. And probably because iodine has been helping my thyroid as well, so there hasn't been so much pressure on the adrenals, and that's probably why my body hasn't been burning through so much magnesium either. So I've been okay with taking magnesium just once a week, and I haven't had any issues with that, so I'm pleased. At least I'm not a slave to magnesium anymore. Last month, during the whole month, I was taking raspberry leaf tea just because I wanted to see if it would help to shorten and lighten up my periods. And interestingly, I got my period while I was on holiday in Lithuania, and it started without the usual spotting of 3 days. It started straight away, which for me was amazing because I've been spotting for 2 or 3 years, and spotting before period and after period is actually a sign of low thyroid, and I have low thyroid, so that doesn't surprise me. Raspberry leaf tea is great for those kind of menstrual irregularities, so it definitely helped me. And the period was, I would say, probably around maybe 60-70% lighter, so I was really happy with that. Then I came back home and I stopped taking it. I was too lazy, but I'll definitely start taking it again because I think I saw great results, and I think I need to take it for longer, perhaps 2 or 3 months to see the full results, so I'll keep taking it. So if you have any kind of period problems, definitely look into this raspberry leaf tea. It's really great. Recently, in the last few months, I've also discovered some important things about my diet and what things are actually irritating my digestion and which foods actually work well for me. So remember, I thought that I was sensitive to gluten and I had gluten antibodies. Well, since then I've realized that it's not gluten that's been upsetting me, but fructose, fructans, and polyols, or sorbitol in other words. So these things are part of the Fodmap group of foods. And for example, I'm okay with some other Fodmaps like lactose, but those 3 things are really not good for me. So it doesn't mean that I can't eat them at all, but I have to be careful with foods that have excess fructose and excess fructans, and also sorbitol, which is in most of the stone fruit. So for example, things like garlic, onion, wheat that's not properly fermented, some fruit like watermelon or mango, or apples, pears, those kind of things are really bad for me. So I can eat them in tiny amounts, like maybe a quarter of an apple, but as long as I stick to this diet, my digestion is perfect, and I'm so glad to know that it wasn't gluten after all. It was just the way gluten is prepared nowadays, and it's not properly fermented. So that's really like the biggest gift for me, because I really don't like excluding all food groups from my diet, you know, entire food groups. I don't think it's healthy, so I'm happy to know that I don't have to do that anymore. So in terms of exercising, I finally managed to get into a really good rhythm. I've been exercising 6 days a week now for just over 3 months, and I managed to continue that even while I was on holiday, so I'm really happy with that. I started from 10 to 15 minutes a day, and now I've gone up to maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day, and I do all kinds of exercises with the school app that I told you about in my video that was titled How to Start a Workout Routine, or How to Start Exercising and Not Quit Within a First Month. So if you haven't watched that video yet, then definitely watch it, because I shared lots of great tips in it. But basically working out has been helping me so much, and I've grown so much stronger, especially in the last few weeks since I started supplementing with iron again and borax and iodine. The gains have been incredible. I can actually do 30 push-ups now. Before I could only dream about that. I could hardly do one, now I can do 30. So I'm so happy with that. I've been losing fat on my abs, which is something I haven't been able to do for years, and I'm seeing great results. So if you haven't started exercising and you have low thyroid or depression or low energy, definitely start exercising, even if it's something really simple like some yoga. By the way, yoga is great. I've been doing yoga twice a week, and it's been helping me so much, both body-wise and mind-wise. I love yoga, so I would really love to try to make some maybe workout videos or something like that, but I'm really out of my comfort zone because I'm not a trainer or anything like that. But if you'd like to see something like that from me, let me know, and maybe you'll manage to convince me. I don't know. Let's see. But I would really love doing like something like that, because I love exercising, and I think it's such an important topic to cover on my channel. So I guess that's it for this video. These are all of my updates. This is my strategy for the next few months, and hopefully this will bring me complete healing in the next 6 months or so. I'd say at this point I'm around 80% healed. My digestion is around 90% healed, so I'm very close to the final result. Thanks so much for being with me on this journey, and I hope that you found it helpful and maybe you got some ideas for your own journey. And as always, if you have any kind of questions, or if you're going through something similar and you need some support or something like that, then I'm always here. Just write me a comment underneath and I will respond. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.